Friends and subscribers, this video is on the Chinese Communist Party. Earlier this month they had the 18th CPC National Congress delegation where they elected officials. As you can see by this graphic, 2,270 delegates were at that function, and that is increased every function. Every couple years they have this big delegation, and it started off in July of 1921 with only 13 delegates. The average age of the delegates at this National Congress Convention is 52 years old. There are 26 people that represent the outlying rural areas or migrant worker delegates, so to speak. 30.5% of the delegates come from the grassroots level, which is an increase. And basically the structure is like this, where you have a general secretary, you have a standing committee of Politburo officials, 9 people, Politburo of the Central Committee, 24 people, there's Secretariat of the Central Committee, 6 people, Chairman, Vice Chairman, other commissioners, deputies, and secretaries, all involved, Central Party members and Congress people that are there to elect new officials and take care of party business at this huge event. There are a total of 82.60 million Communist Party members, and that makes the Chinese Communist Party the largest political party in the world by far. It is growing every year, and it is my understanding that to be accepted into the Chinese Communist Party, you must apply to be accepted, and then based on your merits and your connections, so to speak, or guanxi, you can be a party member. There are occasions where individuals will be accepted into the Communist Party or invited into it. I had a friend that was invited into the Communist Party and she declined the offer. I don't really know the reasons behind it, but she had told me that a party member had approached her and asked her to come into the fold, so to speak. A friend of mine that is a Chinese national had told me kind of what the inner workings of the Communist Party are like. And what he had told me is that there are a core of about 200,000 or so inner party members that are the inner circle or control most of the action, so to speak. He described the party as being similar in structure to the mafia, where you have the inner party members that are all paid a tribute by not only the other party members that are governors and officials from provinces, municipalities, and cities, but also businessmen and women that want to do business on a large scale. They must pay a tribute not only to the party members on a local level, but to the inner circle. They get their cut of the action, so to speak, and nobody really knows what the requirements are for that, because the inner party members, of course, are not audited or questioned in any way. They have the authority to conduct their business how they see fit. They control policy, and they control most of the economic activity. So the inner party members are all multi-billionaires, and the other party members that surround them are perhaps mostly millionaires, and that makes up the inner circle of the party that controls most of the action in China, except for perhaps on the black market, which is a whole nother video. If I am mistaken in any way with what I'm representing here, and any Chinese nationals are watching, please do correct me with the knowledge of how the Communist Party works in business mostly, because in the West most people don't have an understanding of what the one-party system is here, and would probably like to know more about it as the party changes and morphs into something different based on necessity and survival of the party system, because, as you may well know, there was a big scandal in Chongqing involving Bo Xilai, which was a very powerful official and party member in Chongqing, and his wife, a British businessman, was murdered by Bo Xilai's wife in that city. She was found guilty and spared the death sentence recently. They released the activity of their finances, and it was found that although she did not have a job, the wife of Bo Xilai had assets in the hundreds, a little over 100 million, I believe, mostly from online business activity. Her husband, although his salary was quite meager for a government official on his level, his assets too were also in the multi-millions. So where did this money come from, and why is it allowed when we know that the Communist Party line is that the government serves the people, but in reality what we're seeing is that the people, of course, serve the government, and there's a tremendous amount of hypocrisy coming from the Communist Party, and it sounds familiar. It sounds familiar. It sounds like the U.S. government, where we see a tremendous amount of hypocrisy that has come from the U.S. government over the past decades. But these guys here, these guys put the U.S. politicians to shame on the level of corruption, and we know this by official news items that are released, allowed by the government to be released in newspapers and on news programs, etc. So it is fact that there is corruption, and it is fact that it has to be kept in check, or there's going to be a lot more social unrest in China than what everybody would like it to be. So we'll see what happens going forward, and we'll see what happens in terms of reform, and see how this plays out coming up here, because China, of course, is more and more involved in world matters, and not just politically but economically, and their banking system is looking to expand, and as the renminbi becomes more of a convertible currency, it's important that there's political stability in China if they're going to be a continued world player